Welcome. I know it's been a while. Sorry, I guess life gets in the way sometimes, and I've been meaning to come back for a long time. Got a lot to show, a lot to talk about, but I'm going to try to make this not real long, but I always say that, and it turns out to be 40 minutes or so. So if that happens, it happens. So I'm shooting on this iPad. I asked requests on my last video, some suggestions. I got a few, so thank you. I'm still haven't really focused on getting something new, but I thought I'd try this. It's probably got to be better. But anyways, got a lot going on, man. So I hope this looks good. I hope it sounds good. Saw a show last weekend. Nick Mason's Saucer Full of Secrets. What a show. I recommend, if it's coming to your town, go see it. Especially if you're into Pink Floyd, especially if you like Nick Mason. I mean, very, very blown away, especially by the era they're playing, from Piper to Metal, Obscured by Clowns. My favorite. I can't ever tell you what my favorite Pink Floyd, because I love Dark Side, To the Wall, to the Division Bell, The Endless River. I like all that. I just identify better with the earlier Pink Floyd, the country Pink Floyd, the psychedelic, the drony, hypnotic Pink Floyd, Live at Pompeii, Metal. That's my Pink Floyd, and I was fortunate to see these songs that I never thought in my lifetime would I be able to see stuff off of Metal, Obscured by Clowns, more Saucer Full of Secrets being played live. You know, Adam Hart Mother, you know, and it was just so cool being a drummer, seeing one of my inspirations play in front of me. He's 75 years old now, man, but he can still play. He's not hitting all those, you know, don't expect Live at Pompeii Nick Mason, but, you know, I pay attention. I observe him, just even how he holds his stick still, you know. It's pretty cool. Guy Pratt was there. I don't know if a lot of people know. Guy Pratt has played with David Gilmour, Pink Floyd, after Roger Waters' departure. It was cool to see him play. That was a big thrill for me to see. I kind of felt like that when I saw King Crimson, seeing Robert Fripp, and then seeing Tony Levin, seeing all these guys that you've only seen or have heard on albums or pictures of, and stuff. Now you're seeing them. So anyways, that was very, very cool. One of the best shows I've been to in a long time. Very psychedelic, very the album. I mean, the playlist was just right up what I wanted to hear and see and experience. So at least I can say I've seen the rhythm section of Pink Floyd. Now, but anyways, got this beautiful shirt. Shouldn't have done it, but I got another poster from my ever-ending Pink Floyd, poster collection. This one's his autograph. I got his autograph. So the tour, that'll probably be here in the Space Cave. I've got a perfect spot over here. So very, I can't recommend this enough. So go see it if he's coming to your town. I know he was in Atlanta or Florida last, or where he's at now, but he's making his way around the United States, so very cool. So anyways, speaking of Pink Floyd, every morning I've got about a 35-minute commute to work now, so I've been pulling out my box sets and getting reacquainted, and I've been doing that with the Pink Floyd's early Pink Floyd stuff. The only one I have never opened yet is the Syd Barrett era stuff, so that's next. But I've been stuck early 70s Pink Floyd, and just great stuff. So I've been listening to that, and it's got well worth it because you got so much concert footage and promos and everything that I'm just now getting around to watching, and just great stuff. So anyways, since I've been back, I've had so many great and positive responses. A lot of people telling me their feelings of what I meant to them, and it really means a lot. I appreciate that. A lot of kindness, a lot of people that have followed me over the years and that are glad that I'm back. That kind of just warms my heart to know that you remember me for one, but I've made some kind of impact, positive impact on you. So you know, I've already had a few gifts come through the mail, which I love, you know, and it's very kind when people think about you and they put a special note in there, or just gives you something that out of appreciation and shares that with you. I love doing the same. I love communicating that way through mail. I love getting things in the mail, unless they're bills and stuff like that. But the latest one I've got, Derek Fisher, Psych Derek, another psychedelic private press guru of the vinyl community. He reached out and wanted to send me a few albums, a few things, and there happened to be 4 albums in here, and I'm very grateful. Being a fan of this artist, this past group, I didn't have these. I thought I had these, but I didn't have these in my collection, which is probably a sin. But he sent me Frank Zappa, Joe's Garage, Acts 1, 2, and 3, and I'm very grateful, man. Very thankful and thoughtful of you to pass these along to me. I do dig some. I don't talk much about Zappa, you know, as much as I probably should, but I really dig his playing and the whole abstractness of it all. And these came out in 79 and 79, so it's the year I was born. So very cool, man. Very meaningful, and I appreciate the Zappa. I got more Zappa in my collection. He also sent me this album, Mike Milius, Desperado. He bought this when he was here in Texas, and he actually bought it from the record store that I love, that I go to. And I told him I've had my fingerprints on this before. It's always one of those that I'll buy next time, and it wasn't there one day. Well, happened to be up in Nebraska, and then now it's back here. And he said it wasn't his cup of tea, but he thought I'd enjoy this. And you're right. Very Dylan-esque to me at moments on the Uni label. Very cool. I like this album. I really did. After I played it, I was like, I like this, and so I appreciate that. So has some psych moments in here, but like I said, to me it was very Dylan-esque. Mike Milius. And then this one is pretty special to him. It's one of his favorite, and I've played this about 4 times already. But I'm going to keep it out to keep listening, because I appreciate getting on the plane, you know, you explaining this and what it means to you. He had 2 copies of this, and he wanted to send me one. It's a private press, and this really means a lot to Derek, and I'm honored to, in touch to be an extension of that. This is Justin OBrien and Jake, Time Will Tell. I believe it's the 70s. Came out in the 70s, maybe late 70s or early mid 70s. But he's telling me, and I'm absorbing this slowly. But he was telling me that this was written kind of like, I think there was an alien encounter or UFO encounter or something, and this is either the experience or the story. But anyways, I really like this. Like I said, it's growing on me. I'm slowly absorbing it, and you know, like I said, I've listened to this 4 times, and I'm keeping it out so I can keep listening because I like stuff like this, and I really appreciate your friendship, Derek, and all the things that we've talked about. I mean it, and I hope that planning to meet, you know, he was here last time, man, and I feel shitty because, you know, it was just we didn't plan, I guess, our schedules, and I just couldn't make it. And so next time, man, when you plan to come, you know, if you want to come, and you're welcome to stay here a night or two, and we can stay here in the space cave and explore, you know, my collection here and trip a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate this. I kept your note. It will forever be in here, and you know, I'm very grateful for your friendship, for one, but for also these 4 great, beautiful gifts. Thank you very much. So, thank you. Speaking of Pink Floyd, every time I find a bootleg, I'm eager to buy it, and you know, usually their soundboard quality. This one is kind of a crowd, I guess, but it's still a good recording. Landover, Maryland, June 10, 1975, probably right before Animals. You know, they've got, this is the second night at the Capitol Theater. This one's called Having a Cigar, and it's called Raving. You know, they got Raving and Drooling and You Gotta Be Crazy, which, you know, were dogs and pigs. And then side 2 is all the parts of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, 1 through 9. And again, very happy to have this. I've got a growing, you know, not as many as I've seen in the past, but I'm getting a pretty large Pink Floyd bootleg collection along with all my, you know, releases. So what can I say, man? I dig the Floyd so much. This is probably my favorite Pink Floyd release. It's hard to say. Like I said, Pink Floyd to me is one of those, you know, I put them number 2 favorite band. But this album means a lot to me at a time in my life when things were changing, and this press in particular has more meaning. This is Metal, 1971 UK original press. The day I got this, my father-in-law passed away, and I had just came home for my lunch break, and I'd opened this. It was waiting for me. This was probably an eBay or Discogs, and I opened it up and I took a picture to kind of mark this moment, you know, of getting, you know, an original. I had an original American, and I have a couple of those, but I always wanted a UK. And as soon as I took that picture, my wife calls and shares the news. So this part of that now, every time I play this, I'm reminded of him in that moment, because it was a flash of that photo to when that photo appeared to the next minute, everything changed. And fearlessly he faced the crowd and climbed that hill, you know. So I was it was very meaningful to hear Nick, the Saucer Full of Secrets, play Fearless in one of these days on that tour, and this last weekend, and I don't know, it's a very meaningful. And then I've got millions more memories tied to this album growing up. Well, anyways, thought I'd share that. Also, in recognition of, this was probably the second album I ever owned. I pulled this out in the tribute to Peter Tork. Passed away this last month. Again, this was the first album I ever had was Thriller by Michael Jackson when that came out as a young kid. I discovered the Monkees, and shortly after this, I discovered the Beatles. And all that as well was Buddy Holly's. But getting to know Buddy Holly more and maturing in my mind, the Beatles, and I never went back. But I will say that I'll never deny liking this band because you know, people say they're a bunch of actors and, you know, the whole monkey thing, but they were a fun band, and to me I recognize what a band or rock or pop band looked like. You know, I was very into watching this television show as a child, and you know, these two were my favorite, Mike and Peter, and you know, I have some regrets because I had many opportunities. I had a few opportunities to hang with Peter. I used to go when I was younger. I was a photographer, and I would go to clubs and shows and photograph and work shows. And so I met a lot of my heroes. I met a lot of had moments with members of bands, and I kept saying next time because Peter, he was coming around. He was doing a solo thing, and I never went. And now that he's gone, you know, I'll hold on to all my records. And but anyways, this is the one that opened the door for me. I believe this is their second, and I really like it. I really like the Monkees still. I'm not ashamed to say that. This last month, we also lost Mark Hollis. I pulled these out in tribute as well. I thought I had another one, but obviously these are the only ones I have I could find. Talk, the party's over, and it's my life. What can I say? Inspirational, meaningful albums in my life. It's not all about 60s and Pink Floyd and Beatles. In my collection, I've got an array of mosaics of everything. So I really dig that cover as well. So Mark Hollis. While we're at it. This was I guess a record store day from this last year. This year we lost Paul Wally of Blue Cheer. I've been holding this out. You know, I've played this. It's only 3 songs on side A, and then side B has like a commercial. But Blue Cheer. This is the 67 demos. And loud. I love the Blue Cheer, man. Second time around, Dr. Please and Summertime Blues. I try to pick up when I can find Blue Cheer stuff, but like I said, just another piece of the puzzle in my collection. But Paul Wally, the drummer, another inspiration of being a drummer. Early on, I was inspired by Nick Mason, Ringo Starr, you know, the Blue Cheer, Mitch Mitchell, Buddy Miles, all these, you know, Mike Shreve, you know, what can I say, drummers, John Densmore, getting to meet these people and hang with these people, it's so surreal. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out. And then I hit the Sundays. This is not original. This is a 2010 re-release. I have yet to find an original out in the wild, but Red Weather. You must have this, especially in your psychedelia collection, your psychedelic rock. You know. So this is Lee Stevens, and then yeah, another heavy album here is by one of my other favorite bands, Coliseum. This is for those who are about to die. Salute you on Dunhill. Just another great heavy album. Starts off with the kettle. So I was happy to get that. Got that for a few dollars. Been jamming out to that. Another great. I actually got this for free. Chris Robinson Brotherhood. This is part of the Betty's Magic Blends Midwestern Volume 4. The only one I'm missing is Volume 1, unfortunately. This is a triple. Great art. I believe this is from Alan Forbes. I've got some of his posters. But this is a band that me and Citizen Toxie 69, Raul, wherever you are out in the YouTube land, Raul, I know where you're at, but you can come back. I'd love to hang out. We're about due for a visit anyways. This year, we haven't met this year yet. Maybe I'll make it down to San Antonio. But anyways, we've shared a few shows together with the CRB and taken the trip. So I've taken a trip with these guys. So yeah, check that one out. Beautiful album. I love it. They do some covers on here. Let It Bleed, man. They ended up. It's all over now. Baby Blue, among others. Magic Carpet Ride. So it's cool. Been playing this by The Children, Rebirth. Love that album cover. I've even got the deluxe CD. There's a deluxe extended version of this album, so I appreciate this. This is on Atco, late 60s. So another one I enjoy. And I really dig side 2, song 1, I'll Be Your Sunshine. So I like that. Got some blues rock, very clean, beautiful copy of the Dirty Blues Band on Bluesway. It's another one of those labels that if I see it's good condition, I'll pick it up. I've got their other album. It's the one I didn't have. You know, the cover, obviously, boom. But yeah, Dirty Blues Band, dig that. Some more blues rock by my man Harvey Mandel. 2016 release, Thompson Square Records, blues rock. The cover very reminiscent of Cristo Redentor. But I love that art. But it's, you know, he's still out there, and I'm glad he's still out there playing. He's had some health issues over the years and pretty serious stuff. So he's out there playing, and I think he still collaborates with the lineup of Can Heat now. So I was rapping with Zeke. He posted his copy of Glass Harp. So I've showed this before in the very long past, but here's my copy. One of those albums that, you know, you gotta pull out every once in a while and play. This is on the Decca, and kind of like, I describe it as kind of a prog, maybe. I may be totally wrong, but I don't know. It's a good album. I'll just say it's a good album. I got these. I've been listening to these. It's a 10-inch of the third Bardot. Probably take off the shrink. 2000 release. They didn't have I don't believe they had an album, but this was like their singles, and this is all in mono, recorded in '67. I'm a 5 years ahead of my time. You know, that's the big nuggets. But again, this is one of those nugget bands. Also some Paisley, trippy pop psych masterpiece, The Paper Garden. This is a repress. Sundays, but from the Masters, the Music Core Masters. Very cool, very nice album. I really like it, but I have to have that in collection. And again, you'll hear me say over and over, it's better to have a repress than not have it at all, you know. And of course, this is one I've never ever seen out in the public, if that's even, you know, I don't know how rare it is, but it's must be in my collection, you know. So I pulled this one out. One of my favorite bands, Ultimate Spinach. Behold and See is their second album. Every once in a while, man, I gotta pull my records out. You know, it's hard when you have so many. But I've been really into this. I don't know. I like the first one, but I think this one's more on my plane of existence in my mind. I really dig Ultimate Spinner. This one's more of a psychedelic trip to me, and I like them both though. I bought those I don't know, years ago before I even was making videos together. I found them, you know, both together, so I of course bought them both. I used to find the most excellent psychedelic records before this whole vinyl resurgence, and you know, I'm fortunate what I have. I feel like I need more, but I'm fortunate what I have. I do have some rare ones in there, hard to find ones that, you know, I got for a few dollars back in the day. That being one of them. Matt Sands just showed this on his last video, but this was one of my last digs. Cubby and the Blizzards, King of the World. It's a comp, kind of blues rock. They're from Holland, so it's on Phillips. That was the big thing, and of course, you know, I would have bought that anyways, just by the way that looks. So yeah, it was cool to see. This was a record store day release this last year. One of my favorite albums, Van Morrison, Moondance. This is the alternative Moondance, kind of just different takes. This was a big album growing up. My parents, this was kind of like their album. I believe it came out when they were getting married, dating, and so we grew up listening to Moondance a lot. And so, you know, of course, I have to get this in my collection. This year, they announced they're coming out with the alternative of Astral Weeks, so that's definitely one I'm gonna have to get. I don't have the original. This is kind of a comp of the Morning Dew by Morning Dew. Very put together like in a Karma record. This is on Lion Productions, and it's a lot of outtakes, some solo acoustic stuff, kind of a history, documentation of this band. Very good, very good. So I'm glad to have that. Been playing that. Roy Head, kind of a soul blues, Texas. When I first played this, I think a gem. I think that he would really like this. I believe this is on Dunhill, but it was I believe it was recorded in Dallas, Texas, and I think he's from Houston. But this is the same people that you meet going up, you meet coming down. Isn't that the truth? So Roy Head, check that out. Pulled that out recently. Pulled this one out. Love, False Start. What a beautiful copy that is. Usually I see it trashed, or you know, you'll see it with a lot of ringware. But this is one that a lot of people don't talk too much about. You know, they're stuck on Forever Changes and Da Capo and, you know, all the other ones. But this is on the Blue Thumb, so no David Horowitz will scream Blue Thumb. So anyways, the first track, Everlasting First, features Jimi Hendrix, if not his last recording. Him and Arthur Lee got it together. There was always a rumor of a rift in their careers coming up in music, and so anyways, I got a beautiful copy here that I'm very fortunate to have. I pulled that out recently. Let's see where we at. Okay. Here's one I finally broke down. It's a 98 press of, I think, a 67, originally on ESP disc. This is the Gods, the Third Testament. Very, I'd say, folky, experimental, psychedelic. But this is an Italian Get Back Abraxas version, and I'm very happy to have that. I've been looking at it for a few years and decided just to get it. So another one I pulled out recently, Barabbas, is that how you say it? Power. More of a, this is on RCA. This is more of a like a Latino funk, jazz, kind of more funk, I guess, band. You know, I love those Latin Santana, Malo kind of bands. Santana being my favorite. early Santana. So got that. Listening to that. I really love this album. It just came out. This is the Claypool Lennon Delirium. It's their second album, South of Reality. And what can I say, man? I'm really getting into this more and more and more. Every time I hear it, I will say I'm impressed by Sean Lennon. He's maturing into me in his music, and he's I think he's finally found a sound that very suits him well, and and of course Les Claypool. What can I say? As badass as ever. But very happy to have this. This is the newest, so I recommend if you're out and about at the record store, pick that up. I've been listening to that. Very cool. I gotta listen to it again. Finally found an original. This is one of those nugget bands. I've got some of their 45s, but I finally got the Music Explosion. A little bit of soul. Their one and only release. One of those nugget bands. I think they're San Francisco, West Coast. Leary Records. Pretty good condition. It's got Steve St Pierre. It's got his name on the back. So wherever you're at, Steve, if you're still around in this existence, I've got your copy, man. Thank you for having it out there. So I'm glad to have that. That's been on my list for a while. An official release I've been buying. I've got some other ones I haven't opened yet, but one of my favorite San Francisco bands that kind of gets overlooked, After the Dead and Jefferson Airplane. Quicksilver Messenger Service. This is an official release, a European press, UK, Charlie, 2015 show. This is at the Kabuki Theater, the New Year's Eve costume ball, December 31st, 1970, in San Francisco. So yeah, happy to have that. It's a double album. I love Quicksilver, man. Okay, another tribute I pulled out in tribute this last week. One of my inspirations of getting into drumming. This is Psychedelic Percussion by Hal Blaine. Hal passed away this last month. You know the man. His name might not be off the top of your head, but he's played on like 6,000 songs, man, and half of those being hits. If somebody had to say real quick, what is he recognized by? I'd say "Be My Baby" by the Ronettes. Doom, 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 shh, doom. Session drummer, man. Good vibrations, Pet Sounds, so many more, so many. But this was his own. I think this is his third solo on Dunhill. I think it was '67. It's a short album, but very experimental, percussion. And being a percussionist, drummer, I appreciate things like this. Most people, there's no hits on here or anything, but they probably would dismiss it being kind of kitschy or noisy. But gongs galore, chimes, drums, harpsichords, everything, chimes. I want to say there was a sitar maybe on there, but hey, finally found an original copy of their one and only, The Merry-Go-Round. You're a Very Lovely Woman, Live, A&M Records. I'm very happy to find that. It's been on my list for a long time, but it's one of those albums that I've seen represses probably through Sundays, but I wanted to get an original, as I do with all these. But I went ahead and found one, and very cool. So another one of those West Coast San Francisco bands. Bootleg of Spanish or some Mexican psych, Eldar de Mostaza, I believe. I've seen various album covers of this. This is a later numbered press, number 78 out of 500. But the other one is like a mirror with sweet leaves all over it, man. And But, you know, I never heard this band, and the first side reminds me of the old band I used to play in. I mean, almost the exact sound, and I was like, what? So if you ever want to know what I sounded like, you know, I played bass and percussion in this band at the time, and some guitar, but not in that band, but my band, but it sounds like that. Cool find. Almond Duels first. This is American release. What's cool is it's a promo on Prophecy Records, still in the original, very clean copy. This is off their, I believe it's Psychedelic Underground. This is the American version, and kind of an experimental album. I love both versions of Almond Duel, but very cool to find that. And then also found, every time I've been finding them, German presses. So this is Disaster. This is kind of off the same sessions, I believe, and released in '72, I think. But kind of after they broke up, after they were already Almond Duel 2. But yeah, got those. Been listening to that. Let's see where we're at. Okay, let's hurry. Kind of a folk. It looks psychedelic. Panama Limited Jug Band, and on Harvest label, and recorded in England. It's got like I said, more of the bluegrass sound. Hypnosis does the album cover, which did Pink Floyd, and then from there I transitioned into Old in the Way, Jerry Garcia, David Grisham. I'd pull that out. 1975 release on Round Records. So good old bluegrass, cool stuff there. This was a record they store find this year. And I wanted this version because I'll probably never find an original. That's in good shape. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Catch a Fire. One of my favorite. This is actually the first proper introduction to Bob Marley back when I was in high school, I think. I had the one with the spliff on the cover. A 97 Italian press of the Deviants, Batouf, I guess how you say it. Been searching for an original for a long time out in the wild, and I found this one, so that'll do for now. Italian. Another garage, great. The Crying Shames. Sugar and Spice. I like this band. This is a original mono on Columbia. Been playing that. This is Morgan Mason's Down. It's like a acid folk trio, kind of a quiet album, but it's on Roulette Records. I like that. Another I'll pick up shows, bootlegs. This is Santana, Tiger's Head. This is the original Santana band, recorded in Bay Area, San Francisco, 68 and 69, double album. Kind of a play on the original, on the first Santana 1 album cover, but with the tiger. Neil Merriweather, John Richardson, and Boers on Kent Records. Kind of a blues jam album, a lot of organ, and I really dig Neil Merriweather. I've got some other albums of his. I'm playing that. Found a promo, unplayed copy of Sweetwater Just For You. Beautiful copy, a white label promo. I really like Sweetwater, another San Francisco West Coast band, 60s. Pulled out my head shop. One and only album, kind of getting hard to find now. I've had this for several years, but I won't take it out on Epic, original. Some Krautrock, German Oak, reissue, Now and Again Records, 2017. I believe it came out in the early 70s, 1972 or so. But mysterious, great album. This one omitted the Hitler speech, so it's okay. I was listening to, this is kind of a pop psych band, the Magic Lantern, Shame Shame. Everybody thought it was Ozzy Osbourne because the bassist, that guy right there, his name is Osbourne, and so everybody thought he was in this band. It's not him, but kind of on the lighter side. One of my favorite, Armageddon the Maze. This is a 2006 repress. I wish I could find an original. I really like this, kind of downer psych. So sad. And then the last two, before this runs out, the Paupers, Ellis Island. It's still in the shrink. I've been finding some upgrades. I didn't have this one. I've seen it for years, but I saw it in the shrink wrap, and it was a great price. But I've got some other ones that are, you know, originals, but I some great psych that I usually take it off, but I wanted to show, you know, in the shrink before I took the shrink wrap off. But this is one that I'm glad to have. It has the original inserts and everything in it. So yeah, it's on the Verve gold label. Okay, and then we'll go back. Timothy Leary. This is a mono press. I have a stereo, and I saw this in the shrink, and I was like, what? So I couldn't leave it. This is the original motion picture soundtrack to Turn On, Tune In, and Drop Out. But I looked for years. This was one of my grails. I've got a few Leary albums now, but this is one that I always wanted. And so I kind of get a little envious when people on here would show it, you know, and they'd get it, you know, for a couple bucks. But anyways, I have one. I have a mono one now. I have two versions of this, and very cool to find that. And it's pretty close to my house, so I know there's some cool dudes around here that are selling their album. So anyways, yeah, Turn On, Tune In, The Beginning, Root Chakra, Beginning of the Voyage, Root Chakra, All the Girls Are Yours, Freak Out, you know, The Trip, Freak Out, Continue, Genetic Memory, Reentry, Nirvana, Turn On, Turn In, Drop Out, 1967. So very cool, man. So anyway, sorry for that little interruption. Try not to make these real long. And I've got a lot more stuff to show for over the months that I'll be coming back. So let me know if you like these longer videos, or you like shorter videos, or both. You know, shorter videos and like me staying away for a little bit. Like I said, I try not to do that on purpose, stay away, but sometimes my work is getting real busy and real hectic. I've got a lot of staff under me now that my responsibilities have changed, and I've got a lot of guys that answer to me now, so I've got to commit a lot of my time. I'm working a lot of 12 to 13 hour days, just because it's, you know, that's what I do now, unfortunately, sometimes. But anyways, all is good. I've got also a collection of 45s. I don't know how I'm going to show those, but it's some pretty rare ones that were found in the bottom of a closet for probably about 40 years. And a guy at work brought them to me, said, here, you're a record collector. Blew me away. A lot of sleeves, a lot of really rare stuff that I was blown away by. So I'm going to be showing those variously. And again, it's good to be back. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care, my friends, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.